Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking about something a little bit different, guys. What you're watching right now is my prediction for Nvidia, and I will be covering this one today, also the one that I made for Forex. But I want to talk about something very interesting, something that is on the news, and something that no one else has talked about, at least in the way that I will present to you guys this information. Now, some of this information I already told you, and I even talked about this before in other videos, but I think it's very important, very necessary to talk about this. So what I'm talking about is Trump. You know, Trump just recently, some days ago, he announced he will be putting tariffs on China, Canada, and Mexico. So all of these three countries are the largest trading partners of the US. As you can see, for example, right here, this is the official website of the US government. So there's no room for error or excuses or whatever. Some people on Twitter are very confused. As always, they are very ignorant to the fact. Some people are saying that Canada is the largest trading partner. Other people are stuck 10 years ago saying that China is the largest. Very few people are actually nailing that Mexico so far is the largest trading partner of the US. Canada is lagging not far behind, and China is just massively importing compared to exports. So the US, like most countries, has a trade deficit in regards with the trade with China. They also have a deficit basically with all the trading partners, especially with Mexico and China. So obviously a tariff, I'm not an expert on all of these imports and exports. I'm not an expert on that kind of stuff, guys. I just talk about some people think that this is going to be great. This is going to skyrocket the US economy. Like I was saying, I'm not an expert, so it could have some potential benefits, but at the same time, it's almost guaranteed to also have some potential powerful downsides. Now, in my opinion, I don't think that Trump is actually going to do that, because we already saw the first term of Trump, and he threatened basically the same thing, and he didn't actually enforce that kind of stuff. He only kind of enforced it on many European countries. So Europe could get screwed in this, but not so much for Mexico or Canada. And China, well, basically all the tariffs, all the bans, all the measures against China that Trump actually put into place, all of them were basically continued by Biden and his administration, all of them, and maybe some new measures were taken into action with Biden. So China is obviously the biggest competitor to the US, and I think that will remain. And as long as that is the case, the US will do everything in their power to try to stop them, to try to slow their growth, their influence. They're doing some massive things in South America. China just built a massive port right down in Peru, which is one of the largest ports. This is going to only get bigger. So the US really has to find measures to counter China quickly if they don't want to lose the region or the influence that they have. But what I'm really talking about, I'm really fearing, guys, is that some of you already know that, all of you know basically, that the Simpsons have a very good accuracy in regards to predictions. Now, for those who are new to the channel, I also make mainly predictions, my technical analysis, and it's extremely accurate, guys. And by extremely accurate there's no joke in that. You can watch my previous videos, you can watch my charts when they are first published, and you will see with your own eyes that this accuracy that I bring, this quality, no one else has it. That it's that easy. So all you have to do is literally just watch my previous work. But I have not made a prediction about this yet, because it will take me a lot of time. It will take it's just basically a lot of time, guys. I'm very busy right now. So if only someone was willing to pay for such a prediction, maybe I could. Maybe I will definitely feel inclined to do that prediction, but otherwise it just takes a lot of my time, and that's exactly what I need. Time is the most valuable resource. But anyways, some of you know that The Simpsons actually predicted that Trump will cease to exist. If you catch my meaning, I have to be careful with the words because some of them are not YouTube friendly. So many predictions about The Simpsons regarding to Trump, especially as of late, they predicted that Trump will cease to exist. Now, obviously, that's not the case. Trump won the election. Trump is the president, basically. He only has to wait a couple more weeks in order to be inaugurated. So that's not really the prediction that I want to focus on. But you guys know also that The Simpsons predicted that the US will have the first female president. Okay? So a lady president. And obviously in The Simpsons, that character was portrayed by Lisa Simpson. Many people actually thought that Lisa was a representation of Kamala, because Kamala dressed the exact same thing with the purple dress and the like the pearl necklace, something like that. So many people, with just reason, I mean, there was some ground to that. People thought that Kamala was Lisa, and that was a prophesied first female president of the U.S. by The Simpsons. Now, obviously, Kamala lost, so that's not the case. And many people actually thought, some forgot about that prediction, but other people thought that that was the first ever that The Simpsons got a prediction wrong, that they failed a prediction. That was the first failure. Many people actually think this. I've seen threads on Twitter, very detailed, by some communities out there. And what I want to say to you guys is that I just obviously cannot put the episode because that will it's about copyright, so all of that. But you guys need to watch that episode of Lisa Simpson being the president. Go back and watch that episode, and you will see that the main timeline in that episode is the first female president after a Trump presidency. Because there's a scene where there's Milhouse, something like that, and he's talking to Lisa, and Lisa is asking about the state of the U.S. economy, and Milhouse basically says that we're broke. So he says that after, because he says specifically that we're broke because of the Trump presidency, that Trump ruined the economy. So you need to take that into account. What I just said is very important, and no one else is talking about this. There's no other channel, no other of any kind. There's no other video talking about this. All of the people are missing this key fact, and it's the fact that the Simpsons episode was talking about after a Trump presidency. Now, obviously, it's not the first Trump presidency, because after Trump won, Biden came, so there was no female president there. But it's after this second presidency that the female president could be inaugurated, and it could actually be Kamala again, because I just recently saw that she's proposing, the Democrats are proposing her to run again in the next election. So it could be Kamala. Some people are talking about that it could be Trump's daughter, which is, who is he? Ivanka, I think. So yeah, the thing is that the first female president could very well come after the Trump presidency. But what's most worrying is the fact that they are saying that by then the U.S. economy will be broke. And this, my friends, is the moment you have been waiting for. This is the real deal. This chart right here. This chart right here says basically you're just seeing it with your own eyes. Republicans can avoid recessions. It's almost guaranteed that when Republicans are in power, the economy is in trouble. Now, I'm not talking about politics. I'm not even American, so I have, by my own will, no intention to talk about any kind of politics, about preferences, whatever. I have no preferences. Their country, their rules, their politics, not mine. So with regards to this, it's just a stat. This is just a fact. This is just a graphic. This is just a chart. You cannot argue with charts. You cannot argue with stats. You cannot say they are skewed or modified or altered or whatever. They're just the facts. And this is not my source. This comes from the Bureau of Economic Analysis. This comes directly from Bloomberg. This comes from many other data sources. So what this basically shows is that ever since conflict to 1945, the US, every time they have a Republican president, it's very hard to avoid recessions. So Trump has a very, very tough presidency to be inaugurated. He could very well have massive troubles. I'm not saying that he will cause the troubles. I'm just saying that it's likely that he will have to face economic issues. And that could just tie these two facts together. The chart that I'm talking and that I'm presenting to you guys, and when I just talk about the Lisa Simpson and prediction, all of that. Now, in a serious scenario, I will not be talking about the Simpsons for anything, but let's just say that I have a good record of predicting things. Now I know what's that real deal behind that show. I know what's the real deal, but I don't want to talk about this on the channel. Many people already know what's the clue of what I'm talking about what I'm hinting at right here. But let's just say that the Simpsons are not just a family show. They are something else. They have another purpose with as with any other media, especially big popular media. So you have you have these facts that you need to take into account. This Trump presidency could be very well be a very hard time economically. I don't think it's going to be the apocalypse. No, it's going to could be a rough year. Now, I'm not saying it's definitely going to be that way. Like I was saying, I don't have a specific prediction yet for that scenario. But just given the fact that this chart is just very, very telling, is very, very telling. I mean, you can all see this with your own eyes. Just seeing the chart and the fact that the Simpsons have a massive accuracy in their so-called predictions, then I can safely assume that if there's a scenario about Trump having to face the challenge of a recession, now this election, this term, these next 4 years are really likely to be that scenario. So yeah, guys, that's all I want to show you. And just quickly, let's go over to my predictions for NVIDIA. So what to tell you guys, NVIDIA just touched the emergency zone. This is actually a little bit lower than the first days. This is actually on the 31st of October, so it's actually already lower than the first day of the month. So this is the extreme, it's literally an emergency zone, guys. This is a very powerful correction non-stop ever since these days, which I predicted, by the way. I told you, all of you, that these last 2 weeks will be the hardest, the worst weeks for NVIDIA specifically. Now other stocks are not like this. In fact, some other like Tesla, I think, are having record. They're having good times, just to say. But yeah, NVIDIA is really suffering right now, like really, really suffering. So what we can expect, for example, this is today, 28th of November. So today was basically a day where, wait, is this the 28th? Yeah. Yeah, I forgot that the Thanksgiving. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's only celebrated in the USA. Yeah. Okay, so no market day for today, but you can see that the 27th, just like I predicted, guys, was a correction. It kind of recovered in the end, but like a yellow day, but the price compared to the last day, to the last position of the last day, initiated much lower. So yeah, NVIDIA really needs to bring some powerful impulses right now. like tomorrow. Actually, it's the last final day of the month. It has to be a very powerful correction to at least go all the way up right here on these levels, maybe even higher. Could be, depending on really the amount of the impulse. We could see that if it goes all the way to this level, which is, I think, very doable, it will be a green month. But what a volatile these 2 weeks have been. They're having massive volatility these 2 last weeks. Extreme losses for many people, especially for all the people that ignore or don't know about my work. Imagine all of the money that you could have made or saved just by knowing this. Anyways, let's go finally to the Forex chart. So the yen is really doing something against the dollar. They're really strengthening the currency. So what it looks like is that all of the days that I told you will be very volatile every single day. For example, ever since the 26, 27, 28. What do you guys want me to tell you guys? It's very, very volatile these last days of the month. Now tomorrow, 29, could be a very volatile day. And as we close and as we begin approaching these dates of December, which is on the green circle, these dates are on the green circle, we could expect some very powerful corrections. And I think and I hope, for the sake of all the people investing in these stocks and trading these forex pairs, I hope it is the case. We need to see powerful corrections tomorrow, especially for Nvidia. Very, very especially for Nvidia. But anyways, guys, this is already too long of a video for me, the usual. So I'll leave you with this. Just want to remind you all to subscribe, share, and like, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.